If you're thinking about making the move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, or you're living here in Tulsa and you love it, in today's video, you're going to get to see Tulsa through the eyes of our very special guest, Jim Bausch, who I am so excited to have on the show today. Very notable guest who has made quite the mark in Tulsa, and I'm super excited to hear your story.
Okay.
And just to start, I have to say, in probably 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 4 videos that I've ever done on the YouTube channel, I mention Andolini's all the time.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So Andolini's is the #1 recommendation for pizza that we give. Definitely want to circle back to that, but for the viewers to know, one of your notable things that has happened in Tulsa is you've brought Andolini's to Tulsa.
Yes.
Hearing your story, how long have you been in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area?
This is our 21st year.
21 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
21 years.
And the first Andolini started in 2004, 20 years ago.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, in Owasso.
In Owasso.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In a strip mall.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's still there though, right?
It is. It looks a little different, but yeah, it's still there.
So what brought you to Tulsa?
If you know Kathy Taylor
Yes.
and Bill Lobeck, I worked for a car rental company that they owned. And I was living in Fort Lauderdale. They asked me to move here like 5 times. And I said no all 5 times. And I think they thought I was negotiating. I really wasn't. I just liked Fort Lauderdale. And I didn't know anything about Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they got me to come. I saw the place and I just fell in love immediately. It was really much different than I expected. And we moved here. I knew ultimately that the company would be sold. And it was Alamo National Rent-A-Car. We used some of that, I'll call it a bonus, to open Andolini's, me and my brother. He was living in San Francisco at the time, going to law school. I knew the company would be sold and that I'd probably do pretty well at it, and we used that money to open Andolini's.
So in the restaurant business, what is the percentage of restaurants that fail? Pretty high, isn't it?
It's very high, yeah. I mean, it's often said it's 50%. I really don't know what it is, but I would say most of the time it's within the first year. That would have been us too. It really would have been. Had I not had another job, it definitely would have been us. Yeah, it's pretty tough to survive as a mom and pop business in today's world.
And starting in Owasso. Before I get back to you starting in Owasso, let me ask you, how long were you here before you brought your brother here and you guys opened Andolini's?
It was about a year.
A year.
He was going to law school in San Francisco. Our family has owned restaurants in New York quite a bit in the past. I just wanted to hang out with my brother, so I convinced him to drop out of law school and to come to Tulsa, Oklahoma to open a pizzeria.
That's a pretty big ask.
It is. And we did a 3-way call with my mom because he said, I think Mom really wants me to be a lawyer. And I said, I don't think so. And we did a 3-way call with my mom, and she said, I just want you to be happy. And I got him to come out, and we did. And my parents ended up moving out here too. My parents live here as well.
And your parents were from New York, did you say?
They're originally from New York. All of us are originally from New York. But at the time, they were living in Northern California.
Okay.
My father was in the Marine Corps, so we lived virtually everywhere.
Right. And you were in the Marines also,
Both
correct?
my brother and I were also in the Marine Corps, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
That's
I had a great
amazing.
time. So, yeah. So we've lived virtually everywhere, but primarily New York and San Francisco.
Because I think Tulsa has evolved, and you've seen it evolve so much. I think of Tulsa like 1997 when I was in high school, and just how it's evolved so much, and it's become so many great, cool things. But from you coming in 2003, yeah, and you still thought it was cool, and you still thought it was amazing, and you still got your brother to come here from San Francisco. What was that pull?
There was not very much in Owasso at the time. I think it was probably 15,000 people. I think it's close to 40,000 now. I think there's 14 pizzerias in Owasso now, and there was 3 at the time. It's grown immensely. The vibe of Tulsa was really the draw. We lived in Owasso because it made sense to the business that I was in before. But my brother lived in Tulsa, and it's like a little bit of San Francisco, a little bit of New York, a little bit of like Austin, kind of all put together. It's a really healthy balance of life. I don't know, we just liked it immediately. It wasn't a hard sell once you got here at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then going back to your the original Andolini's in Owasso. That's because you were living there, so it was by convenience?
Yes, very much so. We gave it a shot there, and by 2009, 10-ish is when we opened on Cherry Street, and that's when it really took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on that end of Cherry Street at the time, it was kind of dead. It was really reasonably priced. That's why we picked it. We actually were trying to open in Peoria down by the brook, and we had a lease, and they backed out at the last second. They ended up leasing to Wolfgang Puck's.
Oh.
Remember, they had a pizzeria there.
Okay.
And it went out of business in like 4 years.
Yeah, I never went there.
And they picked them over us, which was fortuitous. We ended up opening on the very far end of Cherry Street, where there was virtually nothing at the time. Took a big gamble and built that building, and after that everybody started coming in. I would, not being cocky, but I think it's kind of like Restaurant and Road now.
Yeah.
And we're going to add to it, so it was a lucky move.
Well, I would say I think you made your luck. Definitely. For sure. And you know how to pick places. How many Andolini's
So there's
pizzerias are there now?
5 Andolini's and 1 pizza truck, so 6. And I think we have 12 total entities now, but 6 of them are Andolini's.
And so then on Cherry Street, you have
Prossimo, yep.
Prossimo, which is this amazing Italian fine dining experience that is unlike any other. I was totally wowed. People have been recommending it, you know, for a long time. How long have you guys been open there?
2000, right before COVID, so 2019.
Okay. Yeah. And so I just got there just about a month ago, and talk about just the atmosphere and the experience that you're getting. You have those Parmesan cheese. What are like the cheese wheels?
So it's a Parmigiano Reggiano wheel, and we buy the 2-year-old ones, so it's really well aged, and it's really nice and hard. We cut them in half, and we kind of hollow it out, and we make real original Alfredo in that. I mean, people say that Alfredo sauce is an Americanized sauce made with real heavy whipping cream, and actually at Andolini's we make it that way. In reality, it's a dish that was made both in Rome and in Venice, and it was nothing more than water, butter, and Parmigiano Reggiano and a little bit of salt. And if you mix that really well, it becomes this beautiful sauce. While it's been done in the past, it hasn't been done the way that we do it. You do it inside the wheel, you get it hot with a little bit of brandy. The brandy's not there for taste, it's just there to light off. It melts the wheel just enough that when you pour hot water and butter in it, and you scrape it really fast, and if they're good, the tableside people and the ones we have are, it just becomes this beautiful sauce. So yeah, we make it in the wheel at the table. You know, we had to go through hell with the health department to be able to do that.
Really?
But the way that we did it is very sanitary, and it works out well.
Yeah.
It's one of the best dishes we have, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. It's amazing. And again, just such the experience. And I think that's definitely something notable with the pizza, with the Italian, how you guys actually bring the taste directly from other parts of the world to get that authentic taste here in Tulsa.
Yeah. We do a lot of importing from Italy. And in fact, I just got off the phone with the guy who imports for us. He's in Miami because of the tariffs and a couple other situations. We're gonna be a little short on product. But those wheels, we also get Pecorino Romano wheels from Sardinia. We have these tomatoes that we get from Naples. We have this olive oil we get from Naples as well. So we have to get quite a bit. Our gelato products, some of the bases for our gelato are from Italy. So yeah, it's a pretty coordinated effort to get all that stuff to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And did you ever imagine when you were starting that it would be that you would expand this much, that you would go into so many different directions? Like, was that ever a dream in the beginning?
Honestly, I just wanted to hang out with my brother. That's all I wanted to do. What happened after that is just how it happened. We're both reasonably aggressive people when it comes to business, and you know, we want to be proud of what we do, so we usually amp it up a notch, and as long as it's at the top of the game, you know, we'll do it. Case in point is I don't know if you had it, but we make mozzarella cheese at the table in Prossimo, and the way that happened is for Andolini's, we make about 800 pounds of mozzarella, fresh mozzarella cheese every week for our pizza, for the DeMarco pizza. When we were coming up with the idea for Prossimo to do the fine dining, the reason why we did that is at about 11 o'clock is when they start making the cheese at our place right across from Cherry Street. It's right across from Andolini's. We have a prep center there. And when the guys are making the cheese every day, our employees used to gravitate there and they would eat the cheese as he was making it. And I don't know if you've ever tasted fresh mozzarella cheese like 30 seconds after you make it, but it is a biblical level experience. And we said, if we could ever capture that and do it at the table, people would come, and sure enough, they do. And we are the only restaurant that I know of in the United States that makes mozzarella at the table. You got to get a kid to put his hands in boiling water to do it. But the staff that we have there are so fantastic, and they know what they're doing, and they're very safe about it. And they'll make mozzarella cheese right in front of your face at the table, and it's delicious.
Wow. What a masterpiece. And just explaining that, this still is coinciding with food. I'm a big foodie, so I can't get off the food. But another thing that I talk about when I'm telling people about Tulsa, our food scene up against, East Coast, West Coast.
Sure.
I travel a lot.
Absolutely,
and people are very surprised about the food scene that we have in Tulsa. And you guys definitely are, such a huge part of that. But what are some of your other favorite restaurants or things that you would recommend for people coming to Tulsa?
Well, first, I would agree with you. I hear people, Austin this and San Francisco that and New York that. And every so often we'll get New Yorkers in to the restaurant because we got the distinction of being in the top 10 in the United States a couple years ago. So there's like these people that do a pizza tour across the country, and invariably they come to us and they say, I'm from New York. I know what a good pizza tastes like. And I'll tell them to get the hell out. I'm not here to be judged by you. I know our pizza is very good. And whether it's New York style or whether it's Italian style or whether it's San Francisco or whatever style, I don't know if you ever read our website, but it says Tulsa style. And that's just the way that we chose to do it is different than most. I mean, we age our dough significantly. We're looking for a dough that's crispy and chewy all at the same time. It takes, you can't just, how pizzerias say we make our dough fresh every day. That's a big, huge con. You have to age your dough to make it taste good. And so I know I reverted back to talking about Andolini's, and I could talk about pizza all day long. But as far as the food scene goes, I mean, think about it. The McNelly's group here, they've got some fantastic places. The Juniper group, Justin Thompson group, the Lone Wolf and Chicken and Wolf scene. I mean, there's so many people. The Hodges Bend, I know it burned down, but they've got several places too. I don't think we need to be compared to anything. We are what we are, and I'm real happy with where we landed. The chef that we have at Prossimo is a CIA-educated chef. In the middle of the country, to have a chef that went to the Culinary Institute is pretty extraordinary. So I think we have a great food scene. I could go on. Most of the McNelly's group stuff I probably eat at least 3 or 4 times a month. And I hope I see Elliot every so often in our places too. So I know we all share amongst our restaurants, and we're proud of them, whether it's here in downtown Tulsa or it's out in Jenks or Bixby or Owasso. I think there's a very healthy and well-balanced food scene. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. Now, is there any kind of camaraderie between you restaurateurs?
Oh, for sure.
Like, do you guys meet or like what is?
Yeah, you'll see our employees at the McNelly's group, the McNelly's group at ours, the Justin Thompson guys, and it's very well blended. I think they're both very healthy, good employers in Tulsa. Of course, we try to be top-notch employer in Tulsa as well. I don't know why I brought up. Yeah, every so often I'll see one of our employees and I'll go, "Hey, why'd you go over there?" And they like going back and forth. Sometimes, probably the greatest compliment that I've ever gotten is when we had our 20th anniversary last January. We had a whole bunch of our old employees show up. We had a big, huge party, and we had a whole ton of our old employees show up. Some that we fired, and they came and we shook hands and hugged, and they were just as proud. For whatever reason we parted ways, they still came. And I know the other groups have it that way too. So yeah, I think we're all pretty well balanced. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, but we're still, this is still about Tulsa and, seeing Tulsa through your eyes. So I know that you have kids. when you came here, were your kids grown? Did you raise your kids here?
I did. I raised them here. Every time I think about that. Now, remember, I was born and reasonably raised in New York City, but my father was in the Marine Corps. So we moved around a lot. And I've lived in Manhattan. I've lived in Long Island. I've lived in Staten Island, lived in D.C., in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, Denver, Chicago, and here. And of all those places, I cannot think of another place where I would rather raise my children than here, for sure. And my daughter is a CPA. She lives here in town. She went through the Owasso school system. My son is a mechanic for American Airlines. He went through the Owasso school system. And I also have a child who's going to be almost 5. He'll be going through the Owasso school system as well. So I don't think there's a place in the United States I'd rather raise my children than here, knowing all those places.
Right. I love hearing that. And I know recently Tulsa, Oklahoma City, multiple times this year in 2025 have been ranked in like the top 10, top 100 and, places to live, metros to live. And I think one of those reasons is being able to raise a family here is so nice. With the 5-year-old, what are some places that you love to go?
Well, the Gathering for sure. We go there quite a bit. And, that's a great question. We go a lot of the parks. We go swimming a lot. In Owasso, we go to the splash pad all the time. The zoo, the Air and Space Museum. There's quite a bit to do with a 5-year-old. I laugh about that. I'm an older man, of course, and to have a child so late in life was a big surprise. But man, what probably the biggest blessing of my life was having a child this late in life.
To be so mature and have done so many things, and to just go back from your parenting years to know, like, man, I wish I did that wrong, or I wish I could have done that better, and to get to do it again. So that's
he's a really cool kid too. Yeah. And of course my brother has a young son as well, being raised in the Tulsa school system. So yeah, I think we had a lot to be proud of. Of course, I'd love to see a public college presence here a little bit more. That's probably the only thing I think. I mean, of course, TU is a great school and we do a lot with them, but I'd love to see a larger presence with the public college, but that's about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Other than that, I mean, come on, I can't think of a single school in our school system that isn't worthy of attention. Yeah.
So with Owasso, so you're still living in Owasso, so you've just stayed in Owasso?
Yeah. I live in Owasso. My brother lives in downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about Owasso.
Well, we used to live in the Nottingham area, and then we moved to Stone Canyon. Great community. Owasso, we joke, Hideaway opened in Owasso a couple years ago. There's a real heavy OSU presence in Owasso, much more than I think any other city in the Tulsa metropolitan area. And of course, Hideaway is such a presence in OSU that a lot of people gravitated towards it, and we thought, wow, this is going to hurt business-wise, but it didn't. It ended up being okay, and of course, they're doing very well, and God bless them, I hope they do. But Owasso, it's very heavy with the chains, and very light on the mom and pops. That's probably the only criticism I'd give it. And of the mom and pops there, they do pretty well. Maybe a couple struggle, and we try to give them a hand. It's a great community, great school system. I have no complaints.
And so convenient to Tulsa. I mean, you're like 15, being in Stone Canyon, you're 15 minutes from downtown.
It's 19 and a half minutes from Stone Canyon to Cherry 15th Street.
Okay. Yeah, so super convenient. When I talk about the different suburbs, Owasso is really the only one that's kind of its own little identity. Like it doesn't, you do have to go outside of Tulsa a little bit to get there. They have the Red Bed District, right?
Yeah.
And do you spend time there? They have a farmer's market. Is that something you guys?
My wife and I do. We eat there, at Smoke, and Matt eats quite a bit. I think they do a very good job as well. They're good friends of ours. And that's probably the only time we go down in there. Or the Gathering on Main, we go there too. The library.
The library.
Yeah. My dad goes there quite a bit.
Do you golf?
I don't. My brother does, but we not very often. No. It's a great course though,
Yeah. I haven't been on that course, and I'm not a big golfer, but I play around a little bit. But I haven't been on that course, but I've heard it's pretty good.
I hear it's very good. Whenever I go out there, it's gorgeous. But no, I don't go.
Okay, so you've lived in Owasso then since you've been in the Tulsa area.
Yes.
Okay, if there was any neighborhood any area or get you out of Owasso, what would that be? What neighborhood would that be?
I think, in the 36th and Peoria area. What's that neighborhood called?
Are we Maple Ridge?
Yeah, Maple Ridge. Yeah,
Maple
I think
Ridge.
that's probably where I'd live.
Yeah, I do love that area.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm very happy where we are.
very well. Stone Canyon is absolutely beautiful. When I talk about like the best master plan communities,
Yeah.
because I have this channel because I'm in real estate, so I talk a lot about neighborhoods and the areas. But Stone Canyon is the best master plan community.
Is that
ever.
where you live?
No.
No?
No.
Where you live?
I live in Jinx.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Jinx. But I just love when when I'm doing tours and doing videos and houses, like we showcase Stone Canyon a lot, especially recently. There's so much new construction in the lakes at Stone Canyon.
Yeah, they keep building.
Yeah, the trail systems, and it's really cool. Like
It's
I feel
nice.
like I always see people being active and walking. I actually have a client that was wondering if they could build a greenhouse in the backyard. Do you know?
I built a monstrosity of a outbuilding garage with a 1,000 square foot apartment above it for my son, so we could live close. So I would think so.
Okay.
They were pretty reasonable about the building plans for it. Yeah.
Okay, but you had to go in front of the architectural committee?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about Tulsans that you admire. If you could name anybody that you have met here or haven't met, like who is somebody that stands out in your mind, that is somebody that you admire in one way or another?
It would definitely be Kathy Taylor. Kathy Taylor's a solid leader, super nice person. Always enjoy her company. Bill Lobeck, Elliot Nelson. I think those three would be the top of my list. There's a couple other, you wouldn't know any of them, but yeah, those three. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you.
Those are some
Yeah.
very notable.
Kathy would definitely be at the top of the
Yeah,
list.
definitely notable Tulsans. For
Oh,
sure.
Rose Washington for sure.
Lewis
yeah.
Washington?
Rose Washington.
Rose Washington.
She's the head of the Tulsa Economic Development Corporation.
Okay.
Yeah, really solid businesswoman.
And how involved are you guys with the Tulsa economic development and all of that?
Well, I mean, our stated goal really is provide as many jobs as we possibly can. And, some people will say, well, pizza jobs aren't. That's just not true. The two leaders of our business, my brother does all the marketing. I run the company now, and we have a guy who does all the operations. And he was a server 10 years ago. And he's a very well-paid person, and we have several employees like that. And so don't always discount pizza or restauranting. But, our stated goal is to employ the most amount of people possible. We really do take that seriously. So with the Tulsa Economic Development Corporation, when we do a deal, like we will, just like it was the one I was telling you earlier that I don't want
So
you
we
to
had to
announce
keep a
yet,
secret.
that's probably going to be 45 to 50 jobs, and we will probably finance some of it with the help of the Tulsa Economic Development Corporation. We haven't, solidified that yet, but yeah, we'll happily attempt to make that number the highest it possibly can be. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so we talked about two of the restaurants, but there are several more. So let's touch on those. I've never been to
Metropolis.
I've never been to Metropolis.
So we have 5 Andolinis. We have 1 food truck, so there's 6. Then inside of Mother Road Market, we have 2 brands. We have another pizzeria that we did with one of our employees. You probably should interview her. She's a world champion pizza acrobat, and it really is a thing, and she's super good at it. She was getting ready to be poached by some companies in New York and California, so we tried to make a deal with her to open a new pizzeria called Zaza's, and we have one of those in Mother Road Market, so a pizzeria, and then we have a cheesecake place called Metropolis, so there's 2 more, so that's 8, and then we have a place in the airport that's called Tulsa Flag Mart that sells pizza and bagels and coffee, Topeka coffee. So there's 9. We made a deal with one of our employees to open a Mexican place in, we call it Bixby, but it's really South Tulsa. That's called Dos Panchos.
Okay, I have to go back to what is a pizza acrobat?
Okay, so those people that can really push out dough fast, and they'll throw it all over the place, and they'll dance around with it. That's a pizza acrobat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's happening at Mother Road Market?
No, she actually works downtown now in our Blue Dome store because she likes wood-fired pizza a lot. We have wood-fired down there. And if you get her going, she'll definitely show you.
Yeah.
But she has competed at a world level and won, not like at the female level. She won the world because they have both female and male, and then they have like worlds, and competed in London and in Italy, and yeah, it's a thing. So she's super famous for pizza acrobatics.
That's pretty amazing. I didn't actually realize that was a thing. So that's very cool.
And her name's Tara Hatton.
Tara
Hatton.
Okay. Definitely love to.
You can meet her at our store down in Blue Dome.
Yes. Okay. Which is very cool, the Blue Dome district.
Yeah.
All that.
It's fun down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the store. Did you say the store is in the Blue Dome?
Well, it's at 2nd and in Detroit.
Okay. Yeah.
So I call that Blue Dome. Maybe, yeah. If Elgin, that's still Blue Dome. Yeah.
Yeah. We have to talk about, we can't just sugarcoat everything. What are some things that people that are coming to Tulsa or, learning about Tulsa, like it's not all rainbows and roses. So what would be your cons?
Well, I'm a restaurateur, so I start with food first. It is very difficult to get really high-end ingredients into Tulsa in the off season. So like seafood is difficult, but I mean, Bodine's does a great job. I mean, we buy our seafood from Bodine's in order to get it as fresh as possible. And that's got to say something about a place that, they're flying in from the Fulton Street Fish Market, I think every day now. But you would think, it is difficult. Opening in 2004 was a little bit before the craft beer movement, and the craft beer movement has since evolved. So during the course of that time period, we were a little too pretentious with our beer selections, and when we first opened Owasso, we didn't sell Budweiser, Miller, Coors Light. We didn't sell any of that. We only sold, like Chimay and these really high-end beers, and people just thought we were complete jerks because we didn't have any of those beers. And then ultimately, when the craft beer movement came out, people understood, but we did it with Marshall's in the very early days, and they make a fantastic product. And now I think there's 16 breweries in Tulsa now. So and thriving breweries. So I'm not giving very many negatives. I'm going back to the positives. So the negatives. Well, like I said, a high-end public university. Even though there are plenty in Oklahoma, I'd like it to be in Tulsa. I think right now, the homeless population downtown is getting a little crazy. I wish there was a better solution to that. I think we as a community really need to work hard to solve for that, because it is getting pretty bad. The drugs and the mental illness that are, really getting out of control downtown is something that we as a city need to take on and confront. I know that could be said about pretty much any city in the United States, but this is our city, and it didn't used to be that way. So something has happened. Property crimes, I think, could be a little more aggressively policed, and I think we pay attention to the traffic control and the speeding tickets and all the rest very well. But property crime does devalue how people see. People feel violated when they have property crimes, and I know quite a few people that have experienced that and have relayed that to the community, that probably a little too much now. I mean, the basics, cost of living is fantastic here. School system's fantastic here. The vibe is fantastic. There's not too many negatives about Tulsa, Oklahoma, at least not in my book. I gave you all the list of places that I've lived in, right? And people will say, what about New York and all this? And one of them recently said about Denver, I said, Denver, it had to be the most boring place I've ever lived in my life. It was a horrible place to live. And when people say, well, I love Denver, and I'll say, well, what'd you love about it? And there's not too many other things other than skiing and hiking and all that. And I said, well, you can hike in Tulsa, Oklahoma, maybe not ski, but the things that you can do outdoors here in this area within 45 minutes of Tulsa are not too far off. And Denver was a boring place to live.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I always Denver's a pass-through town, for me. I love skiing, but we get a lot of people moving from.
I do. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
From Colorado, from Denver to Tulsa. So, yeah. Well, I have loved learning about you, loved unpacking your story. You guys, again, you and your brother. Oh, I wanted to definitely mention this. We were talking about the world, the Acrobat, who won the Pizza World Acrobat. But you guys did a Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. My brother, that was all my brother. It was his idea. He's an author, so he's written a couple books all about pizza, a restaurant consulting company, so he's all over the place. He's got a group of guys that's called the World Pizza Champions, and they compete culinarily either in Las Vegas or in Parma, Italy, and they've got a lot of camaraderie, and he just wanted to do something for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and that was his idea. I said, you're crazy. We had to make 3,500 pizzas in 4 hours. And I said, I don't think we can do that. And our employees made that happen. I don't know how he made that happen, but he did. And yeah, we did, I think it was 3,800 and something people all in one building eating pizza and drinking. I don't know if it was soda or water, but I don't know that you know it, but at the time, that same record was being challenged in Los Angeles that same week.
Oh, really?
And Tulsa won.
Okay.
Yeah, LA couldn't cough it up. I mean, think about it. The entire community of Tulsa came together, did that, so much so that they beat Los Angeles on the same week.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I think I was in Canada when that was happening, and I was super bummed that I didn't get to be a part of that, but I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, and Tulsa, TU really made that happen.
Yeah.
They were very generous, and they matched everything that we got. They matched.
And how much ended up getting donated?
It was $45,000, and TU matched.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, Tulsa is a cool place. You are a cool person, and I loved having you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very nice to meet you. Great show.
Yes. All right. That's a wrap.
All right.